Hello and welcome to a new episode of Short Track is Poultry Today we'll take a look at Maja Dora Somodi, the Owl, very clever young skater out of Hungary, made history for the Hungarian program by becoming the first ever junior world champion in the women's 1500 meter here in Gdansk in 2024, a distance that has been absolutely dominated by the Republic of Korea throughout the years. And she pulls the upset and becomes the junior world champion in this distance. It was very interesting, though it has to be said that this skater, Somodi, was not necessarily the favorite coming into this event, but just a clear kind of an interesting example of winning when you are not kind of clearly not the favorite. It's also very interesting to mention that this skater, she doesn't does anything technically exceptionally well. From a technical perspective, she has perhaps nothing over the other skaters that gives her an advantage, but just a very, very great example of insane mental strength. If I have to highlight one of the things that this skater does so well, she has ridiculously strong mental strength. She's very early with that left skate coming out of the corner, very static composure and focus at top speed, and she's always prepared for what's coming. Also strategically has great strategic emphasis as well, and she's such a realistic skater. She knows what she's capable of, and she knows her limits, and that's why one of the reasons that she's able to become the junior world champion in this distance. So I'm going to walk you through her 1500 meter campaign, and we're going to figure out together why does this skater, who is clearly not the favorite, ends up winning and becoming a junior world champion. So I'm going to start with the quarterfinals right here. You see she's on lane number 1, and there's two Chinese skaters with her on the race. Now in a race like this, she knows that those two Chinese skaters can pull off a better time trial in the 1500 than her. So she's at a disadvantage here, knowing that she doesn't have the stamina as those two skaters. So we're going to see what she does here, kind of overcome that advantage, or tries to overcome it at least, here in the 1500. She's on lane number 1, I'm going to skip a bit. Here she is, sits in position number 3. Gonna pick up the speed a bit right here. Yep, she sits in position number 3. See two skaters on the front pulling away a bit. She sits pretty calm, pretty composed in position number 3 here in the quarterfinals. Here 30.5 kilometers per hour. This is the slowest distance in the sport, the junior women's 1500 meters. It's so slow, but it's also incredibly strategic, which really makes it very fun to watch. Here she sits very calm, very composed in position number 3. See the two Chinese skaters still sitting at the back. Now she's positioning herself near the front for an interesting reason. I'm going to tell you why that later. Now, as I've said, from a technical perspective, this skater really doesn't do anything special compared to all the other skaters, but just a really great example of great strategy and great mental strength as well. When you take a look at her body build, she has an interesting body build right here for a Hungarian skater. She's very short, she's even very shorter than Chinese skater around her. This is such an ironic body build, but it works for her very well in short track speed skating. Right here, after being passed by the Canadian skater right here, Erin McGill, she takes advantage of that and that timing. Right away after she made the pass, kind of when she didn't expect her to pass right away, that's a great timing to take the pass. Somebody takes advantage of that and takes the lead. Now one thing she gains by taking the lead here, an advantage that she gets, and there are two advantages that she gets. First, that she gets to break away here and sets a very fast time for fastest third in order to qualify. And the other one, if anyone pushes her at this position, she will qualify by advancing to the next round. The referees will advance if everyone pushes her when she is on the front. So this is kind of a strategy that a lot of skaters do when they know that they perhaps don't have the time trial or the stamina that they can kind of pull off to qualify from these races. And that's what Somodi does here so well, tries so hard, even though she knows that she's not necessarily the favorite, to automatically qualifies out of this race. Here with 8 laps to go, 35.1 kilometers per hour. She lets the Hong Kong skater Lam Ching-yan comes around her outside here. Come around this inside, she takes it right back. Erin McGill from Canada leading this one. Lam Ching-yan doesn't want to be trapped, so she makes the outside pass. Here with 7 to go. And Chinese skaters in the back still conserving energy. Maja, great timing here. She can capitalize over the blind spot over those two skaters. Takes her counter entry wide. Now they can't see her at this position, right? They can't see that they're going to make the pass. The Canadian skater makes the pass, bunches a bit with Lam Ching-yan right here. Somebody who capitalizes and makes the outside pass. Great timing right here. She takes the lead here with 5.5 laps to go. Creates a bit of a gap. The Chinese skater is a bit in the back yet. but she's in a great position here to try and qualify. You know, she's doing everything that she can. Great example of just scrapping through and doing what you can, what you have control of, what you're capable of. See, there's an interesting gap here. She's pulling here with 4.5 laps to go. So still very focused, very calm, very relaxed. 2 hands behind the back. Takes her corner entry very comfortably here. 3.5 laps to go. 10 lap times. So still very slow. Here, I know I'm playing this in slow motion because of copyright, so please bear with me. Here now with 3.5 laps to go. Erin McGill from Canada, 10.01. She's carrying more speed here. She's gonna try to get back at Maja Dora Somodi. But it's very tougher for a taller skater, because when you're a tinier skater, you're the timing is different. The strides they're taking is different, so it kind of messes up the timing a bit. She comes here at the inside, tries to defend the Canadian skater, but she's a bit late here with Somodi. That's unfortunate on her part. Erin McGill capitalizes over having more speed and gets ahead of Somodi. Somodi not being able to make this pass stick. You see the Chinese skaters making the outside pass, capitalizing over the timing of those 2 skaters fighting for the front. And that's what makes them just so comfortable around the outside. They voiced so much energy in and around the front. There's the Chinese skaters. They go on to very, very comfortably qualify out of this one. So as you can see, Maja Dora Somodi at this position, 10.52 lap times. She's feeling behind here. At this position, if you don't have kind of the stamina to skate faster than lap time than the skaters in front of you, you're gonna end up not being able to qualify. That's just the reality of it, unless something dramatic happens on the front. And in some of these cases here, there isn't. Wang and Liu and Erin McGill are the 2 automatic qualifiers with third fastest third. She finishes in 4th and has to go through the repechage, and that's what I'm gonna take a look here. She's in lane number 2 here in the repechage right here, repechage quarterfinal. It's also very interesting to mention that out of all the skaters in the history of this distance, she had to go the longest way to become the junior world champion. Now, we didn't have repechages in the past, so normally that she finished in position number 4 in the quarterfinals, normally she would be out of the competition, but not here with the repechage. She kind of collects the scattered fragments of herself and says, okay, let's go back to the repechage and do this again. Trials kind of what she has control of. What do I have control of? What can I do here in the repechage? Now, this is a field that she's well aware that she can set a better time trial than them. She knows that she's the favorite in this one, and that's why, unlike the other race, she's sitting in the back here. She knows that she can settle this race at the end with only 1 outside pass. And this is the difference from knowing that you are the favorite, or perhaps not quite the favorite to win or to even qualify. Maja Dora Somodi knows her limits, knows what she's capable of, and knows that she can win this race very comfortably. Here, 32.1 kilometers per hour, 321 kilometers lap times. Oh, never mind that. As you can see Salmina here from Latvia leading this one. Somodi very comfortable at the back. She knows that she can settle this race with only 1 outside pass. And that's why she's very calm and composed in the back. And I'll skip a bit here to just right here, yeah. But later on, she is still in the back here. See, negative splitting a bit. I guess that's how it works in the 1500. 12 lap times from 14. It starts very slow in the women's 1500, the junior level. But on return, kind of the upside of that, we get a very strategic race. So she does something very interesting here. She takes her corner entry a bit early to kind of capitalize with a blind spot of the skaters to try to make that outside pass. Now the problem here that it was just a bit too early. No, she had to kind of make it here corner entry so they don't see her. But at this position, the Ukrainian skater kind of noticed, and she's kind of moving here. The Thai skater was also making a move, so she almost got trapped there on the outside. But again, she has the best time trial. She almost bumps into the skater. See that? But still, she has the best stamina and the time trial in 1500 meter, better than all of these skaters, that she can just do that. You know, she can just move around the outside, and it all works so well. For her, she goes on comfortably. Look at the gap that she opens. She waited for them to tire themselves a bit on the front, and then she knows that she's the favorite. She has the most stamina and the best time trial above the skater, because she raced with them in the Junior World Cups prior to this Junior World Championships. And she goes on to very comfortably winning this repechage quarterfinal. So without wasting any time, we're gonna go to the repechage semifinal, and she just goes on to win this. It was right here. Yep. A bit later on. Now this is a very interesting race. Look at this lineup right here. you could quite speculate that she's not necessarily the heavy favorite, or perhaps not a favorite. It's more of a 50-50. She knows that she can qualify out of this one, but of course in the repechage semi-final you have to win the race, and that's why her strategy is a bit different. This one she's not sitting on the front or the back, but more towards the middle. So this is kind of how the change of kind of the field can do with your tactics. She's sitting in position number 3 here, more towards the middle. Here with 31.6 kilometers per hour. Again, very strategic in the women's 1500 meter at the junior level. So has to be very calm, very composed. See a German skater Ulrich here leading this one with 10 to go. I'd like to skip a bit here. Again, same scenario, 1 minute 22 seconds there, nothing changing. But Maja here, looking here, seeing the Canadian skater Aaron McGill again coming here up the inside. The German skater getting past. And here after she makes this pass, they kind of bunch up a bit. Maja sees that and makes the pass around the outside. Here with 7 to go, it's great timing. She doesn't carry the whole through, she just stucks in position number 2. It would be better to take the front of this position to kind of keep yourself out of the trouble. But she chooses to go in position number 2. And you can see the skater is behind. Louisiana Stahl trying to move around the outside. Jinutaya Taisong reacting. Beautiful inside pass. Gets up third. Traps them in the back. Somodi capitalized over the loss of focus by Aaron McGill for just a second. Great timing, catches her off guard. By the time Aaron McGill notices, it's too late. Maja Dora Somodi is again on the front. Here with 1:44 seconds into the race. Now she's leading this one very comfortably. Jinutaya Taisong moves on again the inside of the Canadian skater Aaron McGill, loses a bit of their speed here, allows Maja Dora Somodi to break away here with 4.5 laps to go. In this repechage semi-final, 40.9 kilometers per hour, getting pretty quicker here. 9.82 lap time. She's doing now what's called the negative splits. Now she's been conserving energy in the back. Again, 9.74 lap times. She's one lap after lap, progressively getting faster, kind of putting down the hammer after conserving in the back here. 9.74 lap times here. 40.8 kilometers per hour. And this position she capitalized over her size right here to technically kind of defend against the skaters behind her. And she's taking 2 crossovers into just laying down, coming out of these corners, building a lot of speed. 9.87 lap times, 40.2 kilometers per hour. And now after using all of her speed, she's tiring out a bit. But she's so quick and early with that left skate coming around these corners. She's technically just better than these skaters behind her. Now just look at how quick with that left skate. She gets to keep breaking away from the skaters behind her. And that was just a great strategy for her to take the front and what she did. Because now she has won the race, right? There's no one behind her. And she goes on to win this repechage semi-final. Such a great race right here by Maja. Continuing with the 1500 meter semi-final, Maja Dora Somodi makes it out of the repechage as we have just seen. And now we're gonna see what she does so well here in the semi-final. Again, when we look at this skater, we have a Korean skater, Oh Sung-mi, Liu Wanyu of China, Polina Emelchuk of Kazakhstan, her teammate Diana Laura Vregi, and Zoe Florence Steltrap. So it's more of a stacked heat in the women's 1500 meter semi-final. Again, as we've said, Somodi knows what she has control of, knows her limits, and knows what she's capable of. And here early on, she knows that she doesn't have a time trial as good as those 2 skaters, so she tries to take her opportunity from leading from the front. Again, this does 2 things. You either qualify by fastest third, or if someone bumps into you and takes you out, you will qualify on advancement. So those are the 2 possibilities that Maja is looking for here. She takes the front, she looks behind her, sees who fell down here, scans and analyzes around her, leads here with her teammate Diana Laura Vregi. Here with 12 laps to go. So I'm gonna take a look here, a bit further, yep. A bit further here, she's dropped to position number 2. Japanese skater Kanai. Again, I capitalized over the blind spot of the Japanese skater right here and quickly cups up the inside right here. Nice clean inside pass. Again, nothing special, but just a very clean inside pass to regain control of the lead here with 5 laps to go. 39.1 kilometers per hour, a bit of a gap opening. Chinese skater positioning herself mirror to the front here. Great corner exit here by Maja. Blocks the inside and the outside of the Japanese skater, but Liu Wanyu takes opportunity of that. The Japanese skater couldn't make the pass stick. Liu Wanyu moving around the outside. getting one skater right here. You see Maja Dora Somodi is moving just as quickly as Li Wanyu, but Li Wanyu is moving just a bit quicker here, 200th of a second. She's trying to transition that speed into a pass right here. But Somodi here looks over his shoulder. She knows what she's capable of. She knows her limits and tries to defend against the skaters behind her as much as she can, because that's all she has control of. Right here, the Chinese skater somehow, someway finds a way. Look at, there's only 100th of a second between them in terms of the speed that they're carrying. But Li Wanyu transitions that small bit of speed into an inside pass right here, and that kind of traps somebody here in the middle. Florence Zelchap losing her balance, taking out somebody, and now she goes down right here and gets advanced to the A final. This position right here was out of her control. After the Chinese skater has passed her, there was nothing she could do. She was just kind of sandwiched in between the Chinese skater and the Dutch skater and was taken out and advanced to the A final. But again, her strategy did work, because now she was in position number 2 after leading from the front, and now she got advanced. So her strategy did work here, and that's why leading from the front when you are not a favorite is actually a pretty good thing to do. So here in the 1500-meter A final, Somodi has made it to the A final after being advanced the previous race that we have seen, and she comes to the A final. You see there's 2 Chinese skaters, 2 Korean skaters, and with 13 laps to go, you see the pace is very slow here, even in the 1500-meter A final. You see they're kind of nonchalant, kind of goofy, kind of relaxed here early on, not trying to make a move. So you see Canadian skater Miao Ki not picking up the pace, just standing up pretty much. So the strategy usual by these non-Korean Chinese skaters, tradition has always been, capitalize over the fight between these skaters to try to kind of win the race. That's how they try to break through them in this distance of 1500, because they know that they are not the favorites. That's traditionally how it works, but it's also a great example of doing what you have control of and try to win. And that is essentially their job as short track speed skaters, to try and scrap through and try everything that they have control of to try to win, even though they know that they're not necessarily the favorites. So we're gonna see her from position number 6 right here. She goes on one position more, or tries at least, not making a stick. See Chinese skaters moving up very early up the inside. This is the 1500 meters in the women's side. It's just very slow, very nonchalant. They love it very strategically, but we get that kind of strategic kind of chess game instead for being very slow right here. 48 seconds into the race, 21 lap time, so obviously very slow here start. Somebody capitalizes over that. She's like, no, I'm not staying in the back, I'm making a move to the front. But he's just slowly but slowly moving, following this Chinese skater on purpose here. She follows her on the front because that's good timing. They'll see the Chinese skater, but they will not see somebody coming behind her. So by the time they take notice of somebody, it will be too late. There will be no one to be able to stop her. And that's what she does to make the easy outside pass early on when the pace is not picking up. And now she takes the lead herself and picks up the pace, getting a bit quicker here. Looks over her shoulder, finds the Chinese skater is right away taking that pass right back. She drifted a bit wide there. But again, still calm, still relaxed in position number 2 here. She knows that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skaters that potentially can make a pass on her in any moment here. It can be really out of your control, because you really can't see who's coming behind you here. You see Yu Sumin, good timing. They couldn't see Yu Sumin making this pass right here, right? So that's what's just so out of your control in a race that is such a strategic and very slow like this. Here with 9 laps to go. Anything can happen in this phase, which just makes it so interesting. And it's sitting very calm. Look at how focused she is, position number 3. This takes kind of really hours and hours in practice of refining that facial expression and just being that calm, that focused, and being able to operate well at top speed. You see the Kazakh skater Asgalieva here trying to take her turn at the front here with 8 laps to go. You see she bumps a little bit with Tokarova here from Slovakia, and she kind of senses that Asgalieva is coming. She senses the danger here. She says, if I stayed here any longer, I'll be trapped in the back and might even get bumped and fall down. So she tries to keep herself out of trouble by regaining control of this lead of this race right here. Great corner exit, makes it look very easy. Tries to push the pace a bit. 7 laps to go here. Still 10 laps to go, 10 laps into the race. 10 lap time is very, very slow. Still calm, still composed, just unfazed by what's happening behind her here. See, a great corner exit right here, makes it look very easy. The Chinese kid and Canadian bumping behind. A lot of bumping in the back. This really happens when it's that slow. The Chinese skater does what someone just tried to do earlier, keeping herself out of trouble right here, trying to take the lead. Someone is still very calm, very composed, taking notice of the Chinese skater coming to her right, and tries to hold her off right here. Takes a bit of a wide defensive track pattern, but while she does that, the Slovak player does something very interesting. She comes up the inside here of Maja Dora Somodi, and that helps kind of the skater bunch into each other, and they're trapped in the back after losing their speed. Maja lost all of her speed and she's trapped in the back here. Now there's something really unfortunate happened in this position. You see here is bumping. Also Mia loses her footing. 3 skaters going down. So after this we have a restart. So I'm going to show you the restart right here. I wanted to show you this the race initially to kind of see what kind of fatigue that they had to go through before coming into this race. The real 1500 meters women's A final in the Junior World Championships. They are now carrying fatigue, just dying here with 1 minute into the race. Not making any moves, just nothing. She's sitting here in position number 6, 1 skater out of the race. Oh Sung-mi was kind of injured and was not able to continue the race here. There was no penalty, she just lost her footing and got injured. So that's why we started with 7 skaters. Well, it's funny to say that because that's the number we have in the A final. We used to have 8 but now 7. You see Su Yumin now making the move to the front. You see Maja Dora does something very interesting. She follows her, as I've said, she follows her because now they're fixated on the skater. They didn't notice her following her through. That's great time and great strategy right here to get in position number 2. You know, this race somebody illustrates something very interesting. You know, she knows that she's not necessarily the fastest, the smartest, or the strongest skater, but she's mentally very strong. She keeps on doing what she has control of, and this helps her eventually win the race. So we're gonna see how that looks like. She sees the skaters here picking up the speed, and she can take her corner inch a bit wide. See 2 Chinese and 1 Korean skater. No, they're not picking up the speed here, but she decided to continue here. Make an outside pass, 1 skater in front of her, not making the full outside pass, just 1 pass at a time to position herself in position number 2. That's great strategy, because right here the Chinese skater sees her not coming and let the guard down a bit. Now she's unaware of who's behind her. Who might make a pass. She normally would be thinking it might be her teammate or the Korean skater, not thinking that she could make the pass. And that was a big mistake, because we're going to see with 7 laps to go. Pace is very slow, but this time it's for a reason, because they carry a lot of fatigue. They're essentially on course of skating a 3000 meter final pretty much in 10 minutes, so they're going to be very tired here. There's somebody still calm, still relaxed, looking for the opportunity. You see Sumin Yu leaving a gap to accelerate later on, make 1 outside pass while she's tired here, and try to win the race. But before that, Maja Dora Somodi does something very interesting right here. Before the Korean skater comes, she makes an outside pass while the pace is still slow. You know, it's 37.89 kilometers per hour with 5.5 laps to go, but no one picking up the pace. Maja Dora Somodi is like, alright, you're not going to pick up the pace, I'm going to do that myself. Goes to the front right here. And she tries to defend from the skaters behind her. That's a good strategy, because now there's 1, 2, 3 skaters from the Asian nations, the ones expected to win this race. They're going to bunch up into each other in the back, and they're not going to be able to make a pass on her now. She defends from this position very well, 40.5 kilometers per hour. And now this position, Maja Somodi had to stay mentally very strong. She has ridiculous mental strength, Somodi. She illustrates that so well, those 5 laps right here. Here you see the Chinese skater tries to get up the inside. She tries to block her, but even though she was able to pass, Dora Somodi here stayed very calm, very composed, even though she lost her speed a bit, but she made another inside pass right here. She somehow, somewhere finds that Chinese kid losing their footing a bit, and she capitalized over that. You know, this is the importance of mental strength, being mentally very strong. I mistimed the time when she made the pass there, pardon me, but now she makes it. So now she makes it stick, and no one can able to take it right back here. Now she had to stay mentally very strong, starting from this position, not to give up, does what she has control of. And once again, she's still under the threat of someone passing her again. But she stays mentally strong. Once again, after being passed once, tries not to be passed again, here with 1 lap to go. You see, she's not just, her technique is not the smoothest, not the best technique. But still, she does this strategy very well, and finds the move from the outside and traps the skater behind her right here, and she goes on to win the race. As I've said, she's not necessarily the favorite, but if you do the things strategically well, you might end up in this position right here, outsmarting all of these skaters. So we have such a great example of strategic skating. So I'm going to show you the medal ceremony right here. So here's gonna come, you see here 3 skaters, Hungary, Kazakhstan and China. I'm gonna give you an interesting fun fact. This podium is actually very abnormal in this distance. You know, the first time ever we had this competition was in 1994 all the way to 2026, and the Korean women have dominated this event all the way through in only 2 editions, plus this one, total of 3 editions that they were not able to win a gold medal. It was 1996 Ikue Teshigawara from Japan, and 2001 Drolet from Canada, and here in 2024 Maja Dora Somodi from Hungary makes history for Hungarian short track by winning this gold medal. And also another fun fact, there is no Korean woman on this podium. Korean women have made it to the podium at least in every single edition except this one right here in 2024. Just absolute breakthrough through the ranks by the other nations right here. Still a Chinese skater, so the Asians are still here. But still a great achievement for Hungarian short track of being able to win this race right here. Such a great skater has a very bright future, and as I've said, a great example of mental strength, being able to remain mentally very strong throughout the race, overcoming just a mountain of adversity. You know, she had to do it the longest way, coming from the repechage of not being able to qualify for the quarterfinals, but still ends up in this position right here with a gold medal around her neck. Such a great achievement, such a great race. And yeah, that's all I want to show you for today. Maja Dora Somodi, great skater. And yeah, thank you for watching.